Hi everyone, hope you've had a lovely weekend and are now ready to jump into another maths lesson. So we're going to start off with some fluency, and the first thing I'd like you to do is pause the video and complete the number facts to 10 on the left hand side here. So just pause the video and complete your number bonds to 10. Off you go. Super, hopefully you've had a go at doing that now. So today I want to have a look at some related number facts. So before we go on to that, let's fill in our answers. So you should have got that 1 add 9 is equal to 10, 2 add 8 is equal to 10, 3 add 7 is equal to 10, 4 add 6 is equal to 10, 5 add 5 is equal to 10, and then if I were to carry on and say that there was 6 here, 6 add, well, I've already got 6 as one add end, so my other add end would be 4. And then 7 is already an add end, so my other one would be 3, so 7 add 3, remembering that it's commutative. So that's why I've chosen to stop at 5. So with that in mind, we're going to have a look at some related number facts, okay? So if I know that 1 add 9 equals 10, I can use this number fact to help me calculate 10 add something equals 100. So I just want you to have a look at this number sentence here. And I want you to just first of all think, what is the same between this number sentence and this number sentence? And what is different? So have a go at just thinking about that now. What is the same and what is different? Super, so you might have noticed that this has 1 and this has 10 as its first add end, and then the sum here is 10, whereas the sum here is 100. So each of these components are 10 times bigger than they are over here. So for example, we might notice that this has got an extra 0 on from the 1, this has got an extra 0 on from the 10. That's showing us that that is 10 times bigger, because remember from a few weeks ago when we talked about things getting 10 times bigger and them having to shift up those columns, they have to have that placeholder on. So basically this number sentence here is 10 times bigger than this one over here. So what I can say is, if I know that 1 add 9 equals 10, then I can say that 10, because this is 110. So if I go over here, I can say 110 add 9 tens equals 10 tens, in which case that's 10 add, what is 9 tens? 90, well done. So we would say that 10 add 90 equals 100. Let's have a look for this one then. So I know that 2 plus 8 equals 10. Well, I could also say that 2 tens plus 8 tens equals 10 tens. And I know that 2 tens are 20 and 8 tens are 80. Well done. So that must mean that 20 plus 80 equals 100. Lovely. I'm just going to reveal the rest of these calculations because I think you get the idea now. And hopefully you can use the number sentences here with your number bonds to 10 to answer some questions about your number bonds to 100. Pause the video and have a go at using those related number facts to fill in the gaps, and then we'll go through the answers. Super, so hopefully you've been able to have a go at that now. Let's go through those answers. So if I know that 3 add 7 equals 10, then that must mean that 3 tens add 7 tens equals 10 tens. And I know that 3 tens is 30 and 7 tens is 70 and 10 tens is 100. If I know that 4 add 6 equals 10, then 4 tens, which is 40, plus 6 tens, which is 60, equals 10 tens, which is 100. So if I know that 5 plus 5 equals 10, then 5 tens, which is 50, plus another 5 tens, which is 50, equals 10 tens, which is 100. Super, so bearing that in mind, I'd just like you to pause the video again and use your number bonds to 10 to help you answer these remaining questions, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, lovely. Hopefully you've had a bit of time to have a go at that. Let's go through the answers then. So 70 add something equals 100. Well, I know that 7 add 3 equals 10. So I know that 70 add 30 equals 100. If I know that 9 add 1 equals 10, then 90 add 10 equals 100. If I know, so nothing different here other than the fact that my addends have switched places, which we can do to get the same answer because addition is commutative. So if I know that 6 add 4 equals 10, then I know that 60 and 40 equals 100. 3 add 7, we've already got that number fact up here. 3 add 7 equals 10, so 30 add 70 equals 100. And all that's different on this last equation is my total, my sum is at the beginning. So 100 is the same as 80 plus something. Well, I know that 8 add 2 equals 10. So that must mean that 80 add 20 equals 100. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense to you. Yeah, let's get on with our maths lesson for today then. So today is our last lesson looking at using our multiplication and division facts. And what we're going to do is we are going to start off by thinking about what we did on Friday. And that is to have a think about what doubling is. What is doubling? Pause the video and tell somebody. Off you go. Okay, hopefully you've had some time now to tell somebody in the room what doubling is. So let's recap then. Okay, sorry about that, you two. This could happen again for some reason. My flip chart is not working properly today, but hopefully we can make it through. So what is doubling? Well, here's our little hint. So well done if you said this. Doubling is the same as having two equal groups. If you remember from Friday, we had one and then we doubled it. That means we had two equal groups of one, and that gave us an even total. Here we've got double two, so we've got two equal groups of two, giving us the total of 4. Here we've got double 5, that's showing us two equal groups of 5, and we get the total of 10. So doubling is the same as having two equal groups. So let's have a look at the context that we have here. So 6 children want to play on the seesaw. Half should sit on each side. How many is half of 6? So what this means is that we're going to share the children out between the two sides of the seesaw. So we'll have one child on this side, one child on this side, one child on this side, and one child on this side, one child on this side, and then one child on this side. There we go. So I have halved then. Half should sit on each side. How many is half of 6? Well, on one side we have half. How many is half of 6? That's right, we've got 3. So how many halves make a whole? So this is half and this is half, and together they are the whole. So how many halves do I need to make up the whole? Fantastic. 2 halves make a whole. Can we say that together? 1, 2, 3. 2 halves make a whole. Well done. So then, how many equal groups are there when we're halving? That's right, 2, because 2 halves make a whole. Well done, year 2. Okay, so let's have a look at that in the context of a bar model. We had 6 children, so that was our whole number of children that we're starting with, which is why we're starting with 6 counters in our whole, because we had 6 children and they wanted to play on the seesaw. So that means we had to split them in half. And we've just said that splitting something in half means splitting it into 2 equal groups. and that 2 halves make a whole. So we split them into 2 equal groups like this. And then we saw that 2 groups of 3, so this is 3 and this is 3. So 2 groups of 3 was equal to the whole of 6. And we learned on Friday that that would mean that double 3 is equal to 6, because doubling is having 2 equal groups. So 3 add 3, or 3 2 times, is equal to 6. And this is what we were doing on Friday, representing that as a multiplication equation. So we said 2 groups of 3 is equal to the whole of 6, or having 3 2 times is equal to 6. Let's have a look at our whole then. So we said that there are 6 altogether, and half of 6, half of our whole, is equal to 3. So let's have a look at some more children. There are how many children altogether? Can you count them for me? Let's do that then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 children altogether. We want to find half. Now half means splitting the total number of children into how many equal groups? That's right. Half means splitting it into 2 equal groups. So let's do that then. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I've run out of children. I've split my whole of 8 into 2 equal groups. So that means that half of 8 is equal to 4. That's right. Half of 8 is equal to 4. Can you have a go at pausing the video and doing this one by yourself, filling in these number sentences and these sentence frames by yourself? Okay, hopefully you've had some time to have a go at working out what's missing from our sentences by yourself. Let's go through the answer then. So there are how many children altogether? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 children altogether. So let's fill that in. There are 10 altogether. Half means splitting the total of number of children into how many equal parts? That's right, we're going to split it into 2 equal parts. So let's do that then. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I've run out of children. So I've found my halves. Half is one of these groups. Here we go. So half of 10 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. Half of 10 is equal to 5. Well done if you got that right. Let's have a look at this then. Our whole is, how many counters do we have in the top part of our bar model? Fantastic, we've got 2. So our whole is 2. And we're going to find, first of all, half of 2. So half of 2 is, well, what do I have to do to find half? I have to split these into 2 equal groups. So 1, 2, there we go. So half of 2 is 1. But that also means, remembering back to Friday's lesson, that if I've got 2 groups of 1 and they both equal 2, well, that we would say double 1, because I've got 2 of them, so double 1 is equal to 2. Excellent. Let's have a look at this one then. What's the whole that I've got in the top of my bar model? Lovely, I've got 4 counters, so my whole is 4. So half of 4 is, well, we need to find half, so that means doing what to it? Splitting it into 2 equal groups. Well done if you said that. So let's do that then. 1, 2, 1, 2. So half of 4 is 2. Super. And that then means, if we think back to Friday's lesson, that if I've got 2 groups of 2 and they together equal 4, that we would say double 2 is 4. have a go at this one, pause the video, have a go by yourself, and then we'll come back together and go through the answers. Lovely. Well done if you've managed to have a go at that then. So our whole is 2, 4, 6, 8. I've got 8 counters, so I'm working out half of 8. And I work out half by splitting it into 2 equal groups. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So half of 8 is 4. Fantastic. Remember, 2 halves make a whole, and my halves are equal to each other. So half of 8 is 4. But thinking back to Friday's lesson, we could also say, because I've got 2 groups of 4 here, we could say double 4 is equal to 8. Again, pause the video, have a go at filling in this bar model and these sentences by yourself, and we'll go through the answers to see whether you got them right. Lovely. Hopefully you've had a chance to have a go at doing that. Let's go through the answers then. So how many counters do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 counters here. So I'm working out what half of 10 is. Half means splitting it into 2 equal groups. So let's do that then. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. I've run out of counters. So half, remember half means one of my equal groups. So half of 10 is 5. I've got 5 counters there. So half of 10 is 5. That then means that if I have 5 2 times, that would give me my whole of 10. So we could say that double 5 is 10. Well done if you got that right. So what I've done is I've just got some bar models here to show some of the questions that we've been doing, but I've not got them with counters. So I'm just going to talk you through them, some of the things that we talked about. And I'd like you to think whilst I'm talking you through this, are you noticing anything here? Does anything jump out? So in our bar model, we started with 2 counters. I split it into half and I got 1. So half of 2 is equal to 1 and double 1 is equal to 2. And here we had 4 counters and then we halved it and we worked out that half of 4 is equal to 2. So double 2 is equal to 4. We had 6 children, for example, on the seesaw. We split them in half and we worked out that half of 6 is equal to 3. And we said that we also know that double 3 is equal to 6. And then we had 8 counters on the top. We halved them and half of 8 is equal to 4. So double 4 is equal to 8. And for each one of these bar models, we showed that we had 2 groups of 1, 2 groups of 2, 2 groups of 3, 2 groups of 4. So hopefully you've had some time to think about anything that jumps out at you, but I'd like to draw your attention to 2 things. Number 1 is that halving is the inverse of doubling. Can we say that together? Halving is the inverse of doubling. Let's say that one more time. Halving is the inverse of doubling. Now we've come across this word inverse before. So the inverse means the opposite. Well done. So for example, subtraction is the inverse of addition. Division is the inverse of multiplication. So now halving is the inverse of doubling. So what that means is it's the opposite process. And you can see that they are related because we are using the same numbers, but in different orders. So we're showing that we're doing the opposite. When we half our whole, we're going to a smaller part. Whereas when we double 1, that part is becoming the whole because we have that part 2 times. So you can see here half of 2 is equal to 1 but double 1 is equal to 2. So we've got that relationship between those numbers, but one of them is getting bigger and the other one is doing the opposite and is getting smaller. So halving is the inverse of doubling. It's just the opposite to what we were doing on Friday. So on Friday, we said if we had one group, we doubled it. That meant we had 2 equal groups, and that gave us our whole. Whereas today with halving, we're starting with our whole and we are sharing it into 2 equal groups. But also, just like on Friday, because we are sharing into 2 equal groups, this means that we can still use our 2 times table facts, regardless of whether we're doubling or halving. Because doubling and halving are related to each other, we can use our 2 times table facts. So that's what we're going to focus on now for the rest of the lesson, making sure that we can use our knowledge of the 2 times tables to help us answer some problems about halving. So what you're seeing here is the relationship between doubling and halving. If I've got a multiplication question, so let's say I've put the number, I'll write the number 4 in here. So 4 times 2, well, I know that I need to get 4 fingers up and count in my 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8. I know that 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So we know that 4 is a factor, 2 is a factor, and 8 is the product. And when we have 2 as one of our factors, that means that this other factor is actually half of our product. And the product is double, it's 2 times bigger than our other factor. And it's just the same here. Remember, multiplication is also commutative. So if I switched my 2 factors around and instead of saying 4 times 2, I now said 2 times 4, I would still get the same answer as 8. And what's happening is it's the same thing. 4 will be half of my product, and my product will be 2 times as big. It will be double my other factor. So basically what we're learning from this is when one of the factors in a multiplication question is 2, so when one of the factors is 2, which it is here, the other factor is half of the product. Let's say that together. When one of the factors is 2, the other factor is half of the product. So let's have a look at how we can use our 2 times tables to solve some problems about halving. So this morning there were 6 birds on the wall. Now there are half that number. How many birds are on the wall now? So what is the whole number of birds that I'm starting with? That's right, there are 6 birds on the wall. So I'm going to start with 6 as my whole. Now what we're doing is we are sharing those into 2 equal groups. So what we actually have is a situation where we don't know what one of our factors is. We know that there's going to be 2 groups, so we can say that there are 2 groups of, but we don't know what the groups are of. So 2 groups of something equals 6. Or because multiplication is commutative, we could say we've got so many groups of 2 is equal to 6. So what I'm going to do, because I know that 2 is a factor, I know that I can count in my 2s and I'm going to stop when I get to 6. So 1 2 is 2, 2 2s is 4, 3 2s are 6. So I've stopped because I've reached 6 and I counted 3 2s. So what that means then is that 3 groups of 2 is equal to 6, or 2 groups of 3. And that means here that in our bar model, I've got 3 here. But remember, my 2 parts, my 2 halves are equal. So this is also a 3. And you can see here 1 2 3 half, 1, 2, 3. You can see that's right because we know that halving involves 2 equal groups. So I know that half of 6 is equal to 3. And there are 3 birds on the wall now. So let's look at a similar question for you to have a go at before going through the answers then. There were 14 cakes on a plate. After a party, half are left on a plate. How many cakes are left? So let's think, how many cakes are we starting with? That's right, we're starting with 14 cakes on the plate. So 14 is my whole. After a party, half are left. So what that means is half means that I am splitting it into 2 equal groups. And because I am splitting it into 2 equal groups, that means 2 is going to be a factor. Now what we can say is that we know that 2 groups of something is going to equal 14. Or because we know that multiplication is commutative, so many groups of 2 equals 14. So that means that I need to count in my 2's and I'm going to stop when I reach the number 14. Why don't you pause the video and have a go at doing that, and then we'll do it together and you can see if we get the same answer. Lovely, well done for having a go at that, year 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count in my 2's until I reach 14. So 1, 2 is 2, 2 2's are 4, 3 2's are 6, 4 2's are 8, 5 2's are 10, 6 2's are 12, 7 2's are 14. I've stopped because I've got to 14 and I counted 7 2's. So that means that my other factor is 7. So 2 groups of 7 or 7 groups of 2 or 7 2 times. So that must mean here that one of them is a 7 and the other one is equal to it is also a 7. I've got 7 2 times or 2 groups of 7. And we can see that over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can split them in half and I'll have 7 here and 7 here. So half of 14 is equal to 7. There are 7 cakes on the plate now. Let's have a look at this then in terms of what we can learn from our multiplication equations. So we already learned that when one of the factors is 2, like it is here, when one of the factors is 2, the other factor, in this case 8, is half of the product. So 2 groups of 8 is equal to 16. So what I would say is that 8 2 times, or 2 groups of 8 is equal to 16. So double 8 is equal to 16. So we can see that relationship there, where if I go from 8 to 16, it's getting 2 times bigger. So that means double 8 is equal to 16. Double 8 is equal to 16. But also, going back to this, when one of the factors is 2, the other factor is half of the product. So that then means that going this way, 8 is half of 16. So half of 16 is equal to 8. Can you have a go at filling in this sentence frame, looking at our multiplication equation? And when you've had a go, we'll go through the answers together. Lovely. Hopefully you've had some time to have a go at that now. I know this is quite tricky, but you're all doing really well. So when one of my factors is 2, my other factor, in this case 9, is half of my product. So that means 9 is half of 18, but that also means that double 9 is equal to 18. So double 9 is equal to 18. And half of 18, because remember when we halve, we start with our biggest number first. Half of 18 is equal to 9. So when we have a multiplication fact where one of the factors is 2, we can read these doubling and halving facts from this multiplication equation. So because 2 is one of my factors, I know that this is related to doubling and halving, because when I double and when I half, I have 2 equal groups. So let's take that one step further then before I show you what you need to do on your independent sheets. So we know that when one of the factors is 2, so we can see that here, when one of the factors is 2, now it doesn't matter where my factor is, my factor of 2 could be first or my factor of 2 could be second. But when one of the factors is 2, the other factor, so we don't know what our other factor is, all we know is that this other factor is half of the product. So my product is 10, so that means whatever is here is half of 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count in my 2's until I get to 10. So 1 2 is 2, 2 2's is 4, 3 2's is 6, 4 2's are 8, 5 2's are 10. I'm stopping because I've reached 10 and I counted 5 2's. So that means that 5 is half of 10. And if I double 5, I will get 10. Now I know that's true because I know that 5 add 5 is 10 because I know my number bonds. And I also know that 2 times 5 is equal to 10, 2 groups of 5, or 5 2 times, or 2 5 times. Whichever way I do it, I know that that's correct. And here again, well, I know that this other factor, which we don't know at the moment, is half of the product. Now my product is 14, so what I need to do is work out what half of 14 is. Now I know that one of my factors is 2, so I can count in my 2's until I reach my mystery number of groups. So 1 2 is 2, 2 2's are 4, 3 2's are 6, 4 2's are 8, 5 2's are 10, 6 2's are 12, 7 2's are 14. I've reached 14, I counted 7 2's. So that means that 7 is half of 14 and double 7 is 14. Final thing then for you to have a go at is your own version of this. Pause the video, give yourself some time to complete those missing numbers, and we'll go through the answers when you're ready. Well done, Year 2. This is the last little thing before I show you your independent work. Hopefully your brain isn't too tired. So I know that when one of the factors is 2, I can see here that one of the factors is 2 in both my number sentences, that our other product, which we don't know, is half of this. Now, if you don't know it just off the top of your head what half of 8 is, then I can count in my 2's until I reach 8. So 1 2 is 2, 2 2's are 4, 3 2's are 6, 4 2's are 8. I counted 4 2's, so that means that my other factor is 4, and that means that 4 is half of 8, and double 4 is equal to 8. And same again here, that means that our mystery factor is going to be half of 12. Now, if I don't know what half of 12 is off the top of my head, then I can count in my 2's until I reach it. So I already know that 4 2's are 8 because I've just worked that out. 5 2's are 10, 6 2's are 12. So I counted 6 2's, so that means my other factor is 6, and that means that 6 is half of 12, and 12 is the same as double 6. Phew, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely exhausted. So it is time for you to have a go by yourself. Remember, you don't have to do all of the worksheets you can do if you want to. I've seen some amazing work coming through where people have completed all of the worksheets. But just do 2 of the sheets that are sufficiently challenging for you. So don't do anything that's too hard for you. But if you find in the circle sheet too easy, maybe start on the semicircle or the triangle or even the square, depending on how you're finding this. So the circle sheet, you can either pause the video here or you can download these sheets off the Byron Wood School website. You've got to find half of these. And remember, halving means splitting it into 2 equal groups. So you can either draw the counters in for what half is, or you can just write the number. So your whole is 4. If you split it into 2 equal groups, how many counters will be in each one? Fill that in either by drawing the counters or by writing the number of counters that you will find in there. If you want to get yourself some practical resources, for example, you might want to use coins as counters, or you might want to use some colouring pencils and get 4 of them and split them in half. Practically, you're more than welcome to do that. And then we've also got some part whole models here where we are splitting them into 2 equal groups. And you can see that down here as well with the cherry models. The semicircle sheet then is using our knowledge of our 2 times tables and those multiplication sentences to fill in our knowledge of doubling and halving. So here you can see that 2 is a factor. So you can see that double 3 is equal to 6, but also half of 6 is equal to 3. And what I want you to do is just fill in these number sentences, or these sentence frames, underneath our multiplication equation, using that knowledge. So here, 2 is still a factor, it's just in a different place. So that shows us that double 4 is equal to 8, and half of 8 is equal to 4. The triangle sheet is an opportunity for reasoning where you just need to tick the examples that show half of 10. So think very closely about what halving is. Think about what your whole is, and if you split 10 into 2 groups, what would you get? Remember, your 2 groups have to be equal, otherwise it is not half. And then the square sheet is looking at using our knowledge of doubling and halving to fill in this. So I know that when 2 is a factor, our other factor is half of the product. So that means that this number here is half of 8. Well, what is half of 8? I either know it off the top of my head and can fill it in, but if I don't know it off the top of my head, I need to count in my 2s and fill it in by counting in my 2s until I reach 8. Pentagon sheet is an opportunity for you to do some word problems, and it's the same as the ones that we did on Friday. You've got the word problem in here, you've got space to write your calculation and then space to write the answer to the word problem. So there are 10 birds sat on a wall, half of them flew away. How many are left? So there are 10 birds on the wall, half of them flew away. This question is about halving, so I know that there are 2 groups of something that equal 10. So there are 2 groups of something that equal 10. Well, I know that 2 is a factor, so my other factor is half of 10. Now, if you know what half of 10 is off the top of your head, fantastic. Just fill that in and write that in your answer column. If you don't, you can count in your 2s until you get to 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that's 5. So then my answer is 5. There are 5 birds left on the wall now. And then the hexagon sheet is a bit of a problem solving activity. So a shop sells hampers for people to take on picnics. Now a hamper is a big basket full of food. So you can buy one of these hampers at a shop and take it on a picnic, and it's all ready for you. Now in this hamper, you can see there are sandwiches, there are plates, there are cakes, knives, cups, flasks. So lots of things that you would want on your picnic. Now in one picnic basket, I can see that there are 6 cups in one picnic basket. So if I were to buy 2 picnic baskets, how many cups would there be? Well, that means there would be 2 times the amount, or we might say instead of 2 times, we might say double. So I know that there will be double the amount of cups in one basket in 2 baskets. So basically double 6 is equal to the number of cups in 2 baskets. And same over here, but it's the inverse, it's the opposite. So what we're doing is we're bringing all of our knowledge about doubling and halving together for this one question. So here we've got 8 knives. In 2 picnic baskets, there are 8 knives. So in one picnic basket, I would need to halve the amount to find the number in one picnic basket. So that's what you need to do for the hexagon sheet. Well done, everybody. We know that it's not easy. You're all superstars for getting on with your home learning and, you know, doing it to the quality that you are. You should be really proud of yourselves. I know these lessons aren't easy, but honestly, you're all doing fantastic. We're really looking forward to seeing all the work that you send in. Bye, everyone.